Perfect. Okay, everyone, we're going to get started. I hope everyone likes the OG original Macintosh computer. But this is, believe it or not, the Future of Computing Showcase, where we're going to see some really cool technology as it comes to both software and hardware. So we're going to have two sessions today. First session is going to be session one, and then followed by session two. There's no specific theme to each session. It's all going to fall under the category of Future of Computing. Next slide. So what is Deep Tech Showcase for those newcomers who are joining us now? Deep Tech Showcase is Benjamin, who's on this call as well, is going to go deeper into what Deep Tech Showcase is. But basically what we're trying to do is we're trying to get innovators, so startups, to get connected with the right people in the right places that they can, commercialize and really proliferate their technology to the places that matter. So that means connecting them with the right people by leveraging the power of community. Next slide. All right, so we have, three main groups in our ecosystem. The first one is startups, followed by tech scouts. That could be either VCs, or corporate or government, and then lastly, investors. Investors could be VCs, CVCs, angel groups. Really runs the gambit. So, in order to make this, to connect everyone to each other, we have showcase events like you're on right now. Each event is a different theme. So this one's future of computing. The next one's going to be aerospace and defense, et cetera, et cetera. And we're going to show that to you in a future slide as well. And then in addition to that, on the next slide, you'll see that there's guided introductions. So if you're very interested in a certain technology here, our goal is to make as many connections as possible. So if you see something you like, let us know. We'll try to connect you if we can. And the goal is, and if you're an investor or government or corporate on this call and you want to get more involved, happy to have, more involvement. If you like watching, that's fine too. But if you want to connect with companies, don't be shy. Next slide. So as I mentioned before, I give you guys a little bit too much of a sneak peek, but our next showcase is going to be aerospace and defense, followed by IoT, cyber, and AI showcase. Say that one 5 times fast. Next slide. And I believe I'm going to pass the torch to Benjamin, who's going to tell you a little bit more about us and Eagle Point.
Hi, everybody. I'm not going to take too much time. Just want to run you through very quickly what we here at Eagle Point Funding, Deep Tech Showcase, Deep Tech Marketing do. The idea is we utilize all three departments to help build you a winning strategy to actually engage with the US government. I'm sure a lot of you already have done that, or at least are very knowledgeable on it. But in short, what we do is on the Eagle Point side, we help find the grants, apply for the grants, do everything we can to help you secure that funding on the actual application side, and work very closely with Deep Tech Showcase to actually get the MOUs, the letters of intent, letters of support, procurement contracts, pilot contracts, sales, investments, whatever is necessary to help strengthen that proposal as well, to help you really secure that business to government transition, or I should say approach into doing business. And then lastly is Deep Tech Marketing as a part of us that is also more focused on positioning your marketing materials towards the government. Obviously going for the commercial sector is going to be different than what the government's needs are, and so we help as well with that strategy, with that positioning, to help you secure those larger deals that you're going for. And so, as a whole, we've been around for 25 years. We know the system. Our job is to apply to as many opportunities as we can with bespoke grants and submissions and contracts and applications in the 12 to 18-month period that you're going to work with us, and really help the government and whoever's on the receiving end of these proposals understand not just the technology, but actually understand what the vision is, the long-term goal with your technology, with your company, to help them understand why you're worth investing in, whether it be through actual investment or through grant funding. That's what we here at Eagle Point are here to help you do. So I'm going to throw it back to Asher. But if anyone's interested, please don't hesitate to reach out to Asher or to Brian. They'll happily give you my contact information, and we can talk.
Absolutely. Thank you, Benjamin. So today's lineup, we're going to have this opening presentation, and then I already see Brendan on the call. Brendan Lambert from PureCypher is going to give the first presentation, followed by Vertiv, Haptag, and iBlades. And then session 2 is going to be Codex Quantum, Blind Insight, Helios, Nexogen, and then we're going to have thank you and farewells. So Sam so that there's no confusion, Sam will be giving the presentation for Pure Cipher. I'm excited to see it. All right, and with that, we're going to do a quick round robin of the panel. What I'll do is I will, quickly ask you to introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about who you are and what you're looking for, and we're all excited to hear a little bit about some of the folks here today. So without further ado, let's start off with Alex. You want to go first? Alex
Sure.
Hamilton.
Thank you for having me. So Alex Hamilton, Craft Capital. We are a full service boutique investment bank. We do public, we do private offerings. I tend to focus, my practice here tends to focus on deep tech. The more bleeding edge, the better. We sort of know where to go for all the financing. We make merchant banking investments, and I look forward to hearing all the presentations today.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us. Next up, we have Albert Vasquez. Let me make sure that no, I don't think he's here yet. So let's continue onwards and forwards. Andres, you want to go right ahead?
Yeah, thanks so much, Asher. Hi, everyone. Nice to meet you. My name is Andres Blanco. I'm part of the LM Ventures investment team. So yeah, no, looking forward to participating in another great panel. Thank you all.
Perfect. Thank you for joining us. Next up, Lindsay Aspergren.
Good enough, Asher. Hey, nice to see you
Thank
all. Lindsay Aspergren with NTT Venture Capital. We're a early stage investor based in Menlo Park, trying to deploy $500 million in capital. We look at kind of early stage stuff from 0 to 20 million. Is kind of the check range we're looking at, and building stuff. We don't have an AI platform investment yet. Been looking pretty actively at second and third kind of level AI opportunities, verticalized, looking for Foundry as a service kind of competitors and things like that. So this kind of area is a super interesting domain for us, combining advanced computing, network, and other aspects of technology. So excited to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
Absolutely. Happy to have you. Marissa, you want to go next?
Yes, I'm in Burlingame, and I'm an LP in R42, which is longevity and AI, where they intersect. And R42 is now competing for the X Prize for HealthSpan, and it's $101 million. So that's interesting. And then personally, I'm looking at space stock, particularly hardware. Thank you. And Asher, you never have technical difficulties. So I'm impressed.
Except for today, apparently.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. All right. Next up, Han, you want to go right ahead?
Sure, Han Ko here. It's always a pleasure to be part of this great platform, and thank you for the invitation. Especially today's topic is really exciting. Han Ko, USACO Group, we're a venture capital company. What's unique about us is that we have a presence around the world. We have office in Los Angeles, Dallas, and Midwest, as well as all the way to South Korea, Seoul, South Korea. And we have a pretty keen interest in AI and deep tech, and even some healthcare. So has been pretty good years for us, and we're looking forward to work with you all, and good luck to all the presenters today. Okay, thank you. Looking forward to seeing you. Thank you.
Absolutely. Happy to have you. Yvonne, you want to go?
Sure. Thanks for having me again, Asher. I don't know. Are you counting how often people are participating? Is there a competition? My name is Yvonne Lutsch. I'm part of the team of Lam Capital, and Lam Capital is the venture arm of the Lam Research Corporation. And we are one of the biggest semiconductor equipment manufacturers. Therefore, anything compute is super interesting for us. We are a very deep tech investor in everything around semiconductors, from materials to systems. So advanced compute, whether this is, AI, neuromorphic, quantum, optical, whatever, is all super interesting for us.
Nice. That's awesome. Really excited to have you here. Next up, we have Saul Cates.
Hello, everybody. I'm Solomon Cates. I'm a senior PM here at Google. I look over anything that's in the advanced research, particularly around sovereignty, regulated workloads, mainly in Google Cloud. I'm interested in deep tech. I've been coming to these for about, I don't know, a decade now, on and off. So prior to Google, I was at Thales for many years. So looking forward to hearing from the presentations today.
Happy to have you. And then last up, Utkarsh. You want to go right ahead?
Yeah, sure. So thank you for having me, Utkarsh, Technology Innovation Manager here at Vertiv. My job is to look at Horizon 3 technologies which are going to be part of the compute. So that's what I'm looking for today.
Perfect. Happy to have you. And then Lucas, I think we missed you on the first round, but it looks like you're here now. You want to quickly say hello and introduce yourself?
Sure. Thank you for having me, Asher. It's great to be here. This is my first rodeo, so appreciate the invite. My name's Lucas. I'm with Booz Allen Ventures. We're the strategic venture arm of Booz Allen Hamilton. We have 300 million AUM, focusing across AI, cyber, deep tech, defense tech, and reindustrialization, mostly on dual use applications that serve the US government. We've got a couple investments in space and quantum and looking to expand the deep tech portfolio. So looking forward to hearing the presentations. Good luck to everybody.
Absolutely. Pleasure to have you. And then Michael Lawrence, you want to go right ahead?
Yes, thank you. Michael Lawrence. I'm standing in for David Evans, who's our managing partner at Sentiero Ventures. We're an early stage pre-seed and seed AI first venture capital fund. So primarily in the software space, but my background is actually hardware, industrial tech, and gov tech. So excited to hear all the presentations today.
Awesome. Thank you for joining. And I know I'm probably missing someone, so I hope I'm not offending. So we'll hopefully introduce as the session goes on. And one quick thing is that if you have a question, I like it if we could do it organized. That being said, it's not mandatory. But if you see under reactions, there's a hand raise button for the panel. If you have a question, if you want to raise your hand to ask the question, great. If you can't find that button, you could feel free to blurt it out. I know I have my own technical difficulties, so happy to accommodate whatever kind of situations we got going on. But really excited to get a lot of questions here and get some good movement. So with that, Sam, you're up for PureCypher.
Awesome. Let's go ahead and do you mind turning on share for me?
Sure. I'm gonna need Brian.
Okay,
Brian, are you able to do that? Perfect.
Yep, all good on my side. All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Sam Berkson from PureCypher. And at PureCypher, we're focused on building artificial immune systems to protect both AI and critical infrastructure. And today, we're going to show the foundational layer of our artificial immune system, OmniSeal. So I'm going to walk you through a problem that every organization is now facing. We can no longer reliably detect when our data, our code, or our AI models have been tampered with. And with AI now operating inside of critical systems, this is no longer just a cybersecurity issue, but it's a trust issue. And the real challenge isn't just stopping attackers, but it's knowing when they've already gotten into your systems. Traditional integrity tools like hashes and signatures worked when systems were slower and simpler, but now attackers can alter artifacts inside of your CI/CD pipelines, inside your training datasets, or inside your models themselves, and nothing breaks until it's too late. AI poisoning in particular takes shockingly few samples to take effect. Subtle data changes can completely redirect model behavior, and operationally speaking, most organizations don't realize that anything has happened until months later. So the core questions become, can I trust the data feeding my AI, and can I trust the model that I'm deploying? Our OmniSeal solution solves this by embedding an invisible, tamper-evident seal inside the file, the dataset, or the model. Because the seal lives within the content and not as an external signature, it follows the artifact everywhere it goes. Any unauthorized change, even a single bit, breaks the seal instantly. This gives teams a persistent trust layer that survives versioning, copying, moving, or deployment. And importantly, it works without changing any of your workflows. Your pipelines can run exactly as they did before, just with our new integrity layer built in. Another key capability of our OmniSeal tool is our steganographic layer. What this means is that we can hide data behind decoy files. For example, we can hide an Excel spreadsheet behind an image. This means that if a file is stolen, the attacker can't see or extract the hidden data, and if a decoy is touched, you can attribute who accessed it. It's a powerful combination of protection, deception, and operational visibility, all of this being invisible to the adversary. And here's the lifecycle in practice. First, you seal your data, and from that moment on, the file carries its own integrity. Doesn't matter where it moves, whether it be through a build system, a model trainer, a mission system, the seal verifies itself continuously. And if there are any unauthorized changes to the sealed file, the break happens immediately, and you get telemetry that you can act on, whether it be an alert, a quarantine, a deception trigger, provenance logging, or any other configurable result. This is a fundamentally different approach from traditional monitoring. When you use OmniSeal, the artifact protects itself. And what this unlocks is real-time integrity assurance at scale. You can stop corrupted data early before it can contaminate any downstream systems. You get meaningful deception and attribution because attackers can't tell which files are real and which files are traps. And you get universal seal coverage over your code, your configs, your data sets, multimedia, geospatial files. The seal behaves the same regardless of the file type. And you don't need to overhaul your processes to implement this. This slots directly into existing DevOps and MLOps workflows. When we compare OmniSeal to the current landscape, it closes gaps that existing tools simply can't reach. Most file integrity tools detect changes after tampering occurs. AI security platforms monitor the model, but oftentimes not the underlying data pipeline. And no competitor embeds the persistent seal inside the file that lives with it throughout its life cycle. That's why we demonstrate faster detection, stronger poisoning protection, and dramatically reduced data exposure. And we're already seeing very strong interest across both defense and commercial sectors. Our commercial partners are looking to use OmniSeal to secure their supply chains, their identity verification flows, their healthcare data sets, and financial systems. Integrators and solution developers are building us directly into their offerings, and our API and SDK model allows customers to integrate quickly without needing to rebuild entire existing systems. And across all these verticals, we've seen the same consistent theme. They want persistent integrity they can actually rely on. Our go-to-market strategy is built around this flexibility, whether it be APIs and SDKs for developers, a desktop and enterprise platform, for organizations needing turnkey capabilities, or cloud, local, or fully isolated deployment options depending on your use case. This lets us support partners ranging from financial institutions to aerospace to healthcare, anywhere where integrity is mission critical. We're fortunate to have a leadership and advisory team with deep backgrounds in AI, cryptography, national security, and large-scale enterprise systems. This gives us both the technical depth and the mission context to deploy OmniSeal in environments where trust truly matters. We're now raising a $20 million Series A to scale the platform, expand our integrations with DevOps and AI pipelines, build out compliance and provenance infrastructure, and build meaningful strategic partnerships. Our focus is simple: to ensure that no critical system, especially those being powered by AI, has to operate blindly when it comes to integrity. If you're interested in a deeper technical walkthrough or partnership conversation, or have any questions, we'd love to connect after the session. And with that, we can turn to questions from the panel. And Han, I see you've got your hand raised.
Yeah, hands up here. Yeah, actually, you have a great solution and very interesting, and yeah, appreciate it. My questions are: can you touch base on the performance overhead, maybe computational cost in that respect with the product?
Yeah, so we'll save any hard numbers for a discussion after the fact. It's slightly dependent on the deployment strategy, whether it's an API or using the desktop application that we built around this. But what we've seen is millisecond scale overheads with respect to latency and very, very small, if at all, increases in any data size. So marginal, oftentimes negligible.
Okay. Okay, great. Thank you.
Sure. Aaron, if you want to ask in the Q&A, you can. That being said, I have a question, if that's okay. I wanted to know about some of your other use cases. Just because I know there's quite a few, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. So one of the use cases that we've looked at is with respect to aerospace supply chains. So verification that parts have not gone into the wrong can, so that parts are authentic, is a consistent problem. So what we've been able to do is work with QR codes and other mechanisms to embed the seal directly into those. And then at every step, when you scan the part at a warehouse delivery acceptance, you can ensure that this is the part from the original manufacturer. That's just one use case. But we're also looking at this for data integrity, ensuring that data poisoning is not working its way into your AI models. We've seen research out of Anthropic that as little as 250 samples can poison a model in a very, very serious way. So that's been one of the primary use cases we've been thinking about recently, is using the seal for data sets to ensure that data poisoning isn't affecting your models in production.
Can I ask one more question if nobody asks?
Go for it.
Yeah. So actually really interesting. That's why I'm asking. I don't want to be too technical here, but can you tell me a little more about there's a possibility of like false positive, right? And when you're like as a operational risk, right? With like an immune system style monitoring, so can you tell me a little bit about that with your product?
Yes. So, sorry, Brandon, were you gonna? Oh, never mind. Sorry.
Go ahead.
So with the way that we embed the seal within the file, so every time it depends on how we deploy it, but generally speaking, that seal is constantly being checked. And if that seal is ever broken, and what would break that seal is any unauthorized change. So a user that has not been authorized to access this file will trip the seal. Even a single bit being flipped at the end of a long string of text is enough to break that seal, and that can trigger any customizable alert, quarantine, deception trigger, things like that. Not totally sure if that answered your question. Happy to expand it if you would like.
No, that's good enough. Maybe perhaps we can chat later. Thank you.
Absolutely, we'd love to.
Sure. We have time for one more question if someone wants to have last licks.
Do you guys have any, where's most of your traction right now in terms of industries and client profile?
So we're seeing a lot of traction in both aerospace as well as some international transportation. So verifying parts, people are the right things moving the right spots, and that nothing has been messed with in the back end. So we see a tremendous amount of interest on the commercial side, and we're currently proposing this under several different solicitations for the U.S. government.
Awesome. Yeah, let's connect.
Awesome. Would love to.
Cool. Perfect. So I think that's all the time we have there, but thank you so much for the presentation. And let's and feel free to leave your contact information in the chat so that anyone who does want to connect can. I believe the next one we have up is Vertiv, if I'm not mistaken. Correct, Vertiv. You want to go right ahead, Utkarsh?
Yeah. So Asher, can you please allow me to share my screen? Yeah.
It looks like you should be able to.
Yeah. I hope you're able to see my screen, guys.
Mm-hmm. We are.
Yeah. So we are in the moment right now. So we are, some of you might be thinking that we are running the sprint from last several years, and now it's the time to rest for some time. But let me tell you, we are at the beginning of something transformational, something that is truly driven and enabled by the technology and innovation. With that, let me quickly go to the next slide, and which talks about a generational market shift and the opportunity ahead. So if you can see on your left hand side, that's the chart given by McKinsey. I'm not articulating these numbers in any way or shape or the truth, but if you see in the next 5 years, the projected growth is for the data center specifically is 124 gigawatt. Now, to give you the context of that, when I joined Vertiv and started working on the data center, the collective data center capacity in US itself was 12 gigawatt. Now we are talking about 20 to 15 gigawatt a year addition for next 5 years. These numbers are insane. Think about the amount of energy needed for those amount of things needed to build those data centers, it's really going out of the hand. Now, this is changing how we need to behave, how we need to act, how we need to develop, and how we need to innovate. If you see on the right hand side, you can see the collective market share up to $100 billion by 3 major competitors only last quarter, and the projected growth is for $400 billion in next several years. Now, looking at that, you need to think about where this market is going, at what speed it is going, and understand what are the challenges it is going to face for the industries like Vertiv and compute. Now, I'm not only talking about data centers, I'm talking about the compute, what it is there. The technical challenge and why everything must change. Now, if you see historically, the model which we have developed so far for the AI, whether it is AlphaGo, ChatGPT-3, GPT-4, Gemini, Llama, or Brook, they need tremendous energy to develop. So they need tremendous amount of computational power to develop, and every 5 months something new is coming in these spaces. Now, to develop new generational AI model, we need the whatever the power or whatever the amount of energy we need is almost doubling every 1.5 year. Now, imagine the kind of infrastructure needed to handle all these things. The density is scaling up, the facility size is scaling out, and everything is changing in the data center and in the compute world. So with that, I would like to move to the gigawatt. So everybody is talking about gigawatt campuses now. I'm not saying only in US. If you see India, Southeast India is launching 3 gigawatt of data center or compute. There is one more 4.5 gigawatt of data center is happening at Texas, 5 gigawatt in Louisiana. So everything is, everyone is talking about gigawatt scale, AI data centers being announced at a rapid pace around the world. So you need to understand, like, it's not only US, it's Asia, it's Europe, it's Middle East, it's everywhere, and we need to be ready as a community. We need to be ready for all this, right from our investments, right from our technology, right from everything. Now, we have been talking about extreme densities. Now, we have been throwing this word around. What density means? Like, if you see the slides with the current infrastructure, right from power, thermal, and data center level, we are at the level of 142 kilowatt per rack, which means one rack can handle 142 kilowatt. Vertiv is on the journey of developing a system which within this next 3 years, which can achieve 1.5 megawatt in a rack. Now, 1.5 megawatt is a size of a data center now, and we are thinking to put all those into one rack. Think about the implications it is going to take. Think about the size of the connector, which is going to go into that 300 inch rack. So we need to think
1 minute warning. 1 minute warning.
Yeah, we need to think differently to how we are going to innovate and how we are thinking. And with that, I just want to highlight one important point or I just want to educate this crowd on a compute unit, what it means a unit of compute means. Now, this is my NVIDIA's pod design I just took, in which we are collaborating with them, and it is act as a monolithic computer. What it means as your laptop or any desktop computer, it has a CPU, it has a cooling system, it has its own power system, it has its own computer chips, it has everything. And we are looking at somewhere around 8 megawatt of compute at this moment in front of you, which is of 8 GPU rack. and we can sell it as a combined product. Now, historically, you can buy different products from different suppliers, but now the case is we are giving this solution as a bundle. So all the integrations, everything in one place, and no need to have different collaborations. You need to match and mix all the things. This is the most complete portfolio about power management, thermal management, IT solutions, and to stitch all this together, we have infrastructure solutions, which are stitching all these solutions together and serve you as a one data center and the tremendous power of service. With that, I just want to look forward into the future for some of you, like the existing powertrains are not capable to handle whatever coming next. So we are discussing about 200 ampere solid state transformer, or we are discussing about 800 volt to 1500 volt DC-DC converters, and the energy systems which are going to handle that. That is insane, and Vertiv is working on all of them. The same changes are happening in the thermal, right from the chip to the data
I think
center.
we should start wrapping up soon, Utkarsh.
Sorry, Asher.
I think we're a little short on time.
Okay.
But if you want
just
to, yeah,
last
just
minute.
sure.
Yeah. I just want to highlight that we are thinking to build an entire power system, entire power plant near a data center, just to power a single data center, and utilizing the heat for heat use and heat rejection. So my ask for this crowd is, if you are working on any of these technologies which are supporting this, connect with me. We can grow together and collaborate to solve the real life problems. So with that, over to you, Ashes. Any questions?
Absolutely. Sure. Opening up the floor. Yeah. I think one person asked in the Q&A, he wants to know if it's the well-known Vertiv, and to that I think we can answer yes. It's the well-known Vertiv. Yeah. Awesome. So Utkarsh, feel free to leave some of your contact information in the chat. Thank you so much for the presentation.
Yeah.
Sorry?
Yeah,
awesome.
I will. Thank you, Asher.
Perfect. Thank you for joining. Next up, we have Haptag AI.
Great. This is Andre Krell. Can you please give me access to share?
You should be able to. Give it a shot.
Okay, perfect. Okay, perfect. Would you like to detect and automatically defend your system from the cyber attacks? Could you operationalize the latest threat techniques, tactics, and procedures from the threat actor across the globe? Haptag AI is an AI-powered anomaly detection platform that is looking for single or sequential type of generated anomalies by the systems. We built also a layer of autonomous AI agents that can block, remove, add deception, and remediate threats possessed by the threat actors. Our two words come from fortune and a label that's attached to a data sets. So why Haptag AI? Currently, it's impossible for humans completely connect the whole sequence, threat sequence of the nation states or more sophisticated cyber attacks. AI can really work through the long tail of these type of attacks and combine them in a very unique view and represent them with a much deeper knowledge to every point of that cyber attack. It requires right now very long in a time and significant human cost to investigate and do digital forensics, attack surface intelligence, and map various threat frameworks to understand the attacks on the enterprise, industrial systems, and government. Current monitoring of system is mostly reactive. There is a massive amount of the data signals that are coming in on a daily basis. There is a maybe low accuracy and reliability even in the signals itself, and the systems cannot correctly represent the errors. And it's a very unstructured approach when you're dealing with a variety of the signals. So what could you do differently with the AI? Unsupervised models are generally very suitable for solving the issue of many unstructured and different data sets across the organization. It's a seamless black box integration, and I'm gonna get into that. But basically, you deploy something that digests your data, creates own embedding and tokenization, and gets you the results where you can apply those results to the agentic frameworks for orchestration and automation. The coverage gap analysis and very simple use case, the first one that is so obvious is actually insider threat. How do you map someone's actions and behavior over a long period of time that you can potentially consider a malicious type of behavior inside of the organization? We also interact in reinforcement learning back and forth with the system, and I'll show how that actually works. What market we're going after? There are actually two markets. One of them is currently integrated in a SIEM correlation, and the second one is in the remediation and automation. Our pricing, we already developed minimal product that we right now trying to pilot with the 4 customers, 2 in financial space, 1 as a MSSP, and 1 in a healthcare place. And it will be priced per endpoint, and whole solution, like for example, around like a 10,000 endpoint, could be between $200,000 to $250,000 in infrastructure cost. And our goal is really to provide superior intelligence detection. So build an unmatched AI detection capability that makes partially their own decision with the reinforcement learning to your environment to properly capture the attack surface intelligence that you have with potential attacks either from insider or nation state on any other threat actors. How the infrastructure looks like? We take the signals. So we take logs, events, live collection, forensic artifacts. We pass them through the AI triage and AI cache. We're building this knowledge to basically optimize the speed of the detection and understanding what these events are with our own embedding and own tokenization. We reinforce more advanced parsing, and that's maybe needed when the structure, the unstructured layout of the data needs more interpretation. Then we applied multiple models. So we have 4 different models in a certain type of a series and chain reaction to actually provide a detection of analysis. Then we found anomalies. We built a RAG also for reasoning and understanding what they are with the LLM also explanation and descriptions, what these potentially already known threat actors, technique, tactics, procedures actually are. And we pass that to the agentic solution for the orchestration and automation. So what is the result? Our result is when the SIEM or EDR product miss the events or they're unable to connect them together, we actually connect them together. I've been veteran in cybersecurity. I already have one successful exit to a company, and I spent almost like 30 years in cyber and cyber operations. My passion is in signal intelligence. I help to develop the intelligence signals related to the network forensic products and also indictment to various nation state threat actors. Our team is primarily PhDs. I have a PhD as well in TensorFlow from mathematical physics many years back. And our graduates are from Columbia and USC, and we basically developed this from various science type of initiatives. Our advisors are John Frenchy from the agency, Rene Gutman and Charles Tango, who are former chief information security officers at Coca-Cola and currently at Cisco, and Edward Strauss, who was a former FBI agent and CEO of a company called Strauss Friedberg, who he sold a few years back. Thank you for opportunity to present, and I'm open to questions.
Awesome. Let's open the floor up.
Can I go, if that's okay with you?
Sure.
I got just quick 2 questions. First of all, can you touch base with your computational cost again? Just trying to find out what is the resource, the resource level that your product will require. And second of all, are you looking for funding, or what are you looking for?
Yeah, we are looking for a pre-seed funding around $3 million.
Okay, gotcha.
So computational power, we calculated per 10,000, we did a telemetric on 10,000 hosts environment. And what would be a deployment that's actually needed? What would be a cost of the infrastructure needed to cover? And we calculated around $200,000 to $250,000 for the infrastructure to actually do computational cost with all the models. And the reason is that we used 2 models at the beginning with the encoding and decoding, and then we passed the result to more of a zooming model that actually zooms into vulnerabilities and potential anomalies in the analysis, right? So we don't apply in a serial mode all the detection, but it's actually structured in a parallel way, and that reduces the cost for the calculation.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And then there's a question in the chat. What frontier models are you using for your agents? API or local / on-prem?
So right now we use the agents in the cloud, and then those agents actually would work with the endpoint solution that the enterprise has. So for example, they might have Microsoft EDR solution, they might have a CrowdStrike solution, they might have a SentinelOne. Right now we're integrating with a SentinelOne and a Microsoft XDR solution. So basically the agentic piece, the execution for the action would be pushed with the already agent that organization actually has.
Sure.
And the infrastructure is infrastructure with the microservices at the AWS, which has actually a very strong already agentic framework.
Nice. All right, we have time for one more question. If anyone wants to have the last question. All right. Michael, go right ahead.
Yeah, if no one's gonna take it, I'll take it. So with your approach, does this reduce the 0-day impact, or is the kind of the workflow the piece that's been automated, and the threat vector, the threat surface is really the same?
So think of the 0-day as a cancer. Can human being detect a cancer at a day 0? And answer is maybe really tough to detect it, but once the threat actor is exploiting and moving laterally, we exactly play that role. So once they move out of the device that they compromised with 0-day, once they laterally start stepping stones into the organization, that's exactly what our solution is superior to any other solutions, because if that insider now is trusted by the credentials that he stole from the device that he infiltrated with a 0-day, and is laterally moving across the organization. So we see actually the first and major use case, actually the nation state propagating through the trusted credentials, insiders propagating through trusted credentials, and almost any type of a cyber attacks where threat actor takes over the credential of an individual and laterally moving across the organization and pretending that he has that digital identity is a great use case for us.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Andre. Feel free to leave your contact information in the chat. And so now we will continue onwards and forwards to iBlades. Feel free to start sharing whenever you are ready.
Okay, can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
All right. let me see if I can share.
Sure.
How about now? Can you see my presentation?
It's loading. I see it. Investor 2025, iBlades. Yeah.
Okay. Excellent. Shall we start?
Let's do it. I'm ready.
All right. Well, good evening, and I guess good morning, good afternoon, depending where you are. My name is George Fernandez. I'm CEO of iBlades. We make cybersecurity simple, reliable, and truly future-proof. Today, I'm delighted, and I hope you are delighted to hear about it. How we plan to own a big piece of a $25 billion market growing at 12% a year. This is the flow that I'm going to take you through. So our mission is to make cybersecurity simple, reliable, and accessible for everyone at the edge. So what's the problem with existing cybersecurity edge solutions? Well, they're broken in 4 distinctive ways. They're hopelessly fragmented. Most enterprises glue together 9 to 15 different vendors. Deployment and maintenance are painfully slow and expensive, and humans are still the weakest link. New threats, especially AI, we've heard a few of those today, and quantum are evolving faster than legacy systems can keep up, results in billions of dollars of losses every year, and nobody feels safe. The specific market that we're going after within the $200 billion and exploding global cybersecurity market is the edge, encryption, model distributed assets, and retrofitting legacy networks. It's already a $25 billion segment market going at 12% annually, and that's going to be our beachhead as we start to build a company. So meet Netron. Netron is the world's first peer-to-peer NIST-approved cybersecure network. It is a unified platform that replaces all the fragmented pieces. It's completely frictionless, plug and play with our Guardtron hardware. You plug it in and it just works. This is what it looks like. It's future-proof, hardened for AI, quantum, and whatever comes next. It's self-healing mesh, self-generating, random rotating quantum-safe keys, zero trust baked into every node. With Netron, you achieve 98 to 99% encrypted coverage from day one. A different way to say it is one of our boxes replaces all these security elements on the left, which are provided by at least 9 logos. You can achieve all of that with one of our Guardtron boxes. I won't give you the optical vision test today, but for those more interested in details, for each of these vendors, these are the details that we replace with our box, and we turn them all into just one box. And that's how we're able to put together our positioning when it comes to plug and play and unified approach. We compete against even the biggest brands that exist in the market today. We already have live customers that most startups only dream of the apex companies in the cybersecurity world, both in the US and the Caribbean and the Middle East. Our go-to-market strategy is focused on financial institutions, critical infrastructure, system integrators, and continuing expansion within the defense and intelligence community. Because we're plug and play and future-proof, partners love reselling our product. Our business model, we sell both the hardware upfront, the services upfront, and then we have a subscription model for user licenses and for infrastructure support and maintenance. We have an outstanding team. Myself done several IPOs and M&As, Air Force, sales in the Middle East, sales in the Caribbean, former CTO, former senior executive Kelly Tencor, and Omri Lavi from a former UAS product manager at Rafael Advanced Systems in the Middle East. Our ask today is $2 million in convertible note towards our $30 million equity raise to fuel our demand and drive revenue growth. In conclusion, we have a proven leadership. We are supplying a product in an explosive market that's already profitable. We did $1.1 million of revenue last year. We're poised to do between $5 million and $20 million in the next year, depending on the level of funding we get. We have a unique solution. It's patented. We have trusted customers. and we're positioned to lead the booming edge cybersecurity market. Thank you. I'll take any questions that come to mind.
Sure. Thank you, George. All right. Good on timing there. That was great. Whoever wants to go first, feel free. Otherwise, I do have, while people get warmed up, I have, can you go a little bit more into, some other use cases that you have? I know that's pretty, there's some good stuff, but can you get a little, get into some specifics?
Yeah, and I'm trying to turn on the video, see if you can.
Sure.
And turn off sharing. Is my sharing off yet?
It's not. I can turn it off for you if you want.
Okay,
There
there
it
we
is.
go.
It went off.
Okay, and I'm not sure if you've seen my video.
I can see you.
Okay. Yeah, so use cases, we have several use cases. In one that's really fun to describe is any multinational company has both their headquarters and assets, and they have their IT and their OT. That doesn't have an existing solution today. IT systems grew up with HR, financials, and so on and so forth. And then the OTs is your nodes out in the field, your trucks, your refineries, your sensors. And of course, the moment you join them together, any of those points become an entry point for a hacker. So we do on that particular use case, we deploy Netron to secure the IT infrastructure. We deploy a different peer-to-peer Netron to secure the OT infrastructure, and then we deploy Netron to secure both. That way, you can both keep them separate and yet have them connect in a way that is completely quantum computing ready and hacker free.
And then there's a question from Lindsay. What is your current revenue from government entities?
So all the 1.1 million from last year was all from government entities, IQT and Air Force and the Navy.
Nice. All right, we have time for one more question.
I have a small quick question.
Sure.
Good presentation and good product there. So awesome. My question is that I'm trying to understand this. So you're trying to combining, like for example, a smartphone with these like smart blades, right? So your product iBlaze will enable that's how you enable the edge computing, correct?
So we do both a case that goes around the smartphone. For the Netron. In that case, essentially, we give you 3 flavors. I won't go into all the deep details. I'm happy to discuss that in more detail. That's one of the solutions that we have on the Netron network. So we actually have a Guardtron box that we put at the headquarters. We have a Guardtron box that we would put at the various locations in the multinational company. And then for the human factor, we have a case that essentially is a Guardtron box that's in the case that we move the communication solutions from the phone to our case, and we embed our quantum computing software in the case. So from then on, you basically have the smartphone, the tablet, the PC, connecting to all of your OT devices and connecting to your headquarters, all in one network.
Right. Okay. So some of the data processing will be happening locally as well, right? So, right.
The quantum, yeah. So you can have the data processing happening on the phone. You can have the data processing happening on your sensors. But we pick up the data from wherever is processing the data, and we deliver it to wherever it needs to be in a robust edge computing solution.
Oh, great. Well, very good solution. Thank you.
Thank you.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you so much. And feel free to leave your contact information in the chat. And hopefully some of the folks who had some questions will get back to you, or even the folks that didn't have questions. But it was great to see that. With that, we're moving on to session 2. So there's officially second. We're on to the second session now. For all of you who are joining for the second session, we're happy to have you. For those of you who want to stay for the second session, feel free to stay. We're happy to continue to have you on. With that, we're going to quickly just run through some of the folks who are on the panel for the second session. We're going to quickly reintroduce for anyone who is joining now so that they know who they're speaking to or who's on. So I'm just going to go quickly around with some of the folks that are joining, that are here, and then also hopefully going to be joining in the next couple of minutes. And so with that, let's get started. I believe that Lucas, you're on for session 2, right? As well.
Yes, I am. Yeah, great to meet everybody. I was on the first session as well, but Lucas Snevice, I'm with Booz Allen Ventures. We're the strategic venture arm of Booz Allen Hamilton. We invest in seed to Series B across AI, cyber, defense tech, deep tech, and reindustrialization. We've got a couple portfolio companies doing space and quantum and looking to expand our deep tech portfolio. So excited to be here, and good luck to everybody that's presenting.
Absolutely. Rachel, you want to go next? Rachel Marone.
Hi, I'm Rachel Marin. I'm out at Dover Air Force Base, and I'm excited to be here. I worked with Phoenix Spark Innovation Cell, and now I work closely with Bedrock Innovation Cell. So Bedrock is looking for some companies that they could integrate to all facets they have. They have the Air Force's largest port, so anything that could help our maintainers, especially, we're looking for. Thank you.
Nice. Thank you for joining. Next up, Saul Cates.
Hi, everybody. I'm Solomon Cates. I'm a senior PM here at Google. I look over things like deep tech, sovereignty, national security, particularly when it comes to new products and innovations. I'm always interested, so looking forward to it.
Nice. Happy to have you. Yvonne, you want to go next?
Sure.
I'm
You said Han,
sorry.
right? Not Yvonne.
No, I said Yvonne. Han, we'll go after if that's okay.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I thought it was Han.
Sorry, guys. I have to enunciate more.
Better 2 people than no one, right? Yeah, Yvonne Lutz. I'm with Lam Capital, the venture group of Lam Research, one of the largest semiconductor equipment manufacturers in the world. And we are looking in all things deep tech, all semi-related from materials to systems, including AI and robotics, which is important for our business.
Sure. It's great to have you. Han, you're up.
All right, thanks. Sorry about that. Yeah, Han Ko here, USACO Group. We're international venture capital company. We have a presence in USA all the way to Asia, and we do business over in Europe as well. So our focus is on deep tech. Just like Yvonne, we have a keen interest in AI and robotics as well. So good luck to everybody, and it's great to meet you here. Thank you.
Perfect. Good to have you. Hyendo, you want to go next?
Yep. Hi, everyone. This is Hyendo from Honda Accelerator Ventures. We are a CVC arm for Honda Motor. We are focusing on hard tech and deep tech. More specifically, we look at a lot of sustainability, mobility, manufacturing, and robotics. And that's how we look at computing and AI as well. So great to meet you all.
Sure. It's great to have you. Dylan Shen.
Hi, Dylan Shen. I'm the Director of Innovation Research at Cincinnati Insurance. We are very interested in AI computing and modeling. Nice to meet you all.
It's great to have you. All right, this is my chance at redemption. Let's see if I can do it. Lindsay Aspegren.
That was perfect. Hi, I'm Lindsay. I'm a special partner at NTT Venture Capital. We're investing in early stage companies at kind of the intersection of compute, network, and AI.
Good to have you.
Good.
Utkarsh. Okay. I'll give a second. All right. In the meantime, we could have Marissa.
Hi, I'm Marisa Alma McGinnis, and I'm with R42 Group, which is at the intersection of AI and longevity.
Perfect. It's great to have you. Jasmine? I don't know if she can hear us.
Hello.
Hi.
Oh, hi. Finally, you could hear me. Sorry, I was at a conference setting, so the environment is a little bit noisy. Somehow my microphone doesn't work. And happy to provide an overview of our investment strategy. And so I am Jasmine Zhang. I work with SK Hynix as the investment director. And So SK Hynix, as you may be aware, it is producing memory and storage chips such as DRAM, NAND flash, SSD storage. And for the venture team, we are seeking investment opportunities in semiconductor spaces, mostly early stage, from later seed to A and B round. And we have a low single-digit C round opportunities as well. And for the investment scope, we are focusing on semiconductor AI and applications, and also focusing on fabrication solutions and processes and advanced metrology, material technology can be something highly interesting. And also data center and infrastructure, which is a big part of our investment scope. That include compute networking, storage, thermal power management, etc. So looking forward to get connected with startups and peer investors. Thank you so much.
Sure. Thank you for joining. Next up, Brandon Kramer.
Hey everyone, Brandon Kramer here. Asher, any specific details I should cover in the intro, or just quick who I am, where I'm from, all that?
Yeah, and what you're interested in and what you're interested in seeing today.
Excellent. So yeah, Brandon Kramer, I'm part of Autodesk Research, as I think my background probably shows here. I'm a strategic alliances and engagements manager. I've been with research for about 7-8 years now. And within Autodesk Research, we look after various industry verticals, manufacturing, architecture, engineering, construction, media and entertainment. So very excited to join here and learn about new inspiring companies and what they're bringing to offer to the world. And we have various different ways where we connect our research to various research labs, startups, academic groups. So for ones that are aligned with some of our research projects, I'd love to make a connection and try to explore possible collaborations. Thanks for having me.
That's awesome. It's a pleasure to have you. Next up, Ethan Missner.
Hey, good to meet everybody. I'm Ethan. I'm with Insight Partners. We're a large $13 billion software investment fund, investing anywhere from kind of venture up to the growth equity and even later stage buyouts. Based in New York City, we invest all over the world. So excited to see what everybody has today.
Perfect. It's a pleasure to have you. Let's just make sure no one joined, because I know we're running a little early, but I want to make sure that no one joined that I'm missing. If you did join and you're on the panel and I'm skipping you by accident, I apologize. Feel free to speak up. Looks like we are good to go.
Sorry, just a second, Asher. We do have somebody, Ben Patterson, who's in the audience, who will be promoting to panelist to introduce himself.
Sure.
There we go. Hey, everybody. Yeah, I'm Ben Patterson. I invest out of a couple of different funds. Elementum Ventures is strictly deep tech, a lot of differentiated IP around breakthroughs in hard sciences and pre-seed checks there. And then 10VC is a little more generalist, although we do a fair amount of deep tech there, also pre-seed focused. I've been in the business for about 15 years or so. We have a portfolio in the US and Canada and Europe. Yeah, looking forward to hearing more about what you guys are building.
Absolutely. Pleasure to have you. With that, I believe we can go ahead and get started. We're going to have Codex Quantum kick it off for us. Feel free to start sharing your screen whenever you're ready to go.
It helps if I turn on my microphone and camera.
Yep, we can see and hear you, which is good.
Great. Well, hi, everybody. My name is Stuart Pino, and I'm the CEO of Codex Quantum, where our mission is to empower researchers, scientists, and engineers with cutting-edge quantum machine learning tools that accelerate solving the world's toughest computational problems. And we're doing that because we believe that classical machine learning has reached some serious limits. Imagine a pharmaceutical researcher breaking down after months of data analysis that led nowhere, a potential cancer therapy lost in the noise of the data. But what if we had the tools that truly saw what she couldn't? Millions are stuck waiting, not just for drugs, but for answers, because algorithms built for yesterday can't keep up with today's complexity. Across defense, pharma, and finance, the cost is measured not only in missed breakthroughs, but in lives put at risk. But the computational volume is there. Actually, thanks to all the hard work done in the quantum hardware space, quantum processors will actually surpass classical in just a couple of years in terms of available computational volume. Problem is, that the tools to take advantage of that massive amount of compute are built for people like those that are on my team, or they don't exist at all. What people need are answers from their data, not be required to learn an entirely new branch of science and computing. So we invented Sasquatch. Sasquatch is a self-attention sequential quantum transformer. Quantum transformer is exactly that. It's the T in GPT, but it allows us to leverage quantum compute in a quantum native environment across a wide variety of challenges. The transformer really changed AI, and it is just as applicable here in the quantum realm. So with image classification, we were able to solve that with just 9 qubits. Without changing a single line of code or anything about our architecture, we were able to predict fluid flow with just 20 qubits. Why should those numbers impress you? Well, many people believe that you need thousands of qubits for quantum computing to be effective. But what we know is that you just need more efficient algorithms that are able to fully leverage the hardware that's available today. And of course, will improve over time as both advancements are made in a number of different fields as it relates to quantum computing. But it's just as important for this to be approachable. And so we package that into a platform we call Pantheon. This allows researchers, scientists, and engineers to upload their data, where we can then train a custom AI model based on their research and allow them to run inference on that to find additional insights and patterns that they're not able to find through either classical machine learning or otherwise. And again, because of the way that we're built, we can do this across a wide variety of fields, but more on that later. It also needs to be cost effective. And as you probably have been reading about in the news, the more data, the bigger the model, the more money that costs. So we plotted every model that's been developed since 2016 and the amount of compute it required to train a model of that size. But the real exponential here is the cost savings that we have when the data gets sufficiently complex enough and large enough. In fact, we turn billion-dollar training problems into $10 million solution engines by leveraging quantum compute through our platform. And like I said, we can do that across a number of different problems in a number of different industries. And so we're currently running pilots in the financial industry, where we're looking at commodities trading and portfolio optimization. We also have a brand new partnership I'll talk about in a little bit, but with Raytheon, we have a decent amount of experience in defense, and I'll share more on that on the team. But the massive sectors of the global economy could be greatly impacted by the amount of compute we'll allow researchers to access and to put to work. Our team has a diverse set of backgrounds. I myself am a serial entrepreneur that have scaled a technology company to an exit in the past. My 3 co-founders were formerly leading quantum machine learning research at the US Navy, each of them from a different academic background, which allows us to tackle the problem from different angles. We just successfully closed a friends and family round of about $1 million. We're looking for introductions to more commercial partners to collaborate on new pilots. We're active participants in the Alchemist Accelerator, which is a joint partnership between IBM Ventures and University of Chicago, here in Chicago, where I live. We're also part of Creative Destruction Lab, and we'll be going to session 2 in Spain in just a month to represent our company at the program there. And like I said, our new partnership with Raytheon is multifaceted, including participation in their mentor protege program, and we'll be working on a number of problems with them. So if you're interested in helping accelerate solutions to humanity's toughest problems, we'd love to talk. Our next round will be in Q2 of next year, but until then, we'd love to build a relationship. Thank you.
Thank you. With that, we'll open the floor to Q&A. Yvonne, go right ahead.
Hey Stu, thanks for this presentation. I mean, I'm always curious when people talk about, you know, doing more with less qubits. But I'm wondering, I mean, there must be limitations because currently the qubits are still, you know, very unstable, too noisy. They fall apart before you can put code on them. So how do you overcome that with algorithms?
Yes. And so well, first of all, I'm not the most experienced person in the quantum on our business, but what we're able to do is we're able to fully saturate the hardware and really saturate the information space. And so we're able to do amplitude encoding, and that allows us to put a lot more data on a lot less qubits and on a shorter period of time. But actually, if I could ask Brian, if you could promote Ethan Evans as well, he's my colleague. He would be able to fully give a technical answer if we want to go that deep.
He's on this call. He's on the panel.
Oh, he's on the panel. Great.
Yeah, I can talk to some of those points. So you asked about basically error mitigation, the error rates of current days, qubit technology, how that affects our system, the time scales and the time limitations in terms of qubit lifetimes, T1, T2 relaxation. So these are definitely all concerns, and these are all things that keep improving with each generation of quantum computer of QPU hardware. We've seen error rates on IBM's hardware go down by orders of magnitude over the years, and they continue to claim that it will continue to go down. Already with their gate error rates, we're able to have good results on hardware, and we expect that to continue to improve as their gate error rates improve. As far as T1, T2, we have an understanding of how many qubits we can use our algorithm with that number of qubits and still fit within T1, T2. And that number of qubits is still very transformational for solving some very hard problems. And then as far as error mitigation and error correction, well, we definitely benefit from the error mitigation that is baked into the hardware, and there are a number of error correction algorithms that also will improve our approach as time proceeds. And we also have in-house error correction algorithms that we're working on and developing. So this will all go hand in hand. Does that answer all your questions?
I think for the moment, yes.
All right, we have some more questions, and I want to make sure we get to all of them. So Saul, go right ahead.
Yeah, I saw you had Quantinuum up there, and they seem to be a little ahead of the curve when it comes to the compute power. Can you talk a little bit about what relationship you have with them, or you currently are in no relationship? And Google, of course, we have our hat in the ring at the moment in the quantum run. So curious really more about like how you're approaching partnerships, or are you guys really trying to be agnostic to all?
I think long term, the product vision is to remain agnostic and to use the right tool for the job when the time comes. We do not have an active relationship with Quantinuum yet. They are leading the field in quantum hardware development. We do have several avenues to an introduction over there when we're ready. We're currently working very closely with IBM due to our relationship with IBM Ventures, and they're basically supplying us with an endless amount of credits right now and a whole bunch of other things that make that useful. But yeah, long term, I think it is our vision to work with anyone who's putting quantum hardware online, and especially since I think each of them will be good or better at different things at different times, if that makes sense. So.
Cool. Han, you want to go?
Yes. Actually, yeah, you have a really superb solution there. Actually, I respect that. I'm just trying to understand a little bit about it. So your product is platform agnostic, correct?
That is the aim, yes. Yeah.
That's the aim, right? Yeah. And then you're okay. I just want to double check that. And then so you raised about 3 million. And how much more you try to raise right now?
Sorry, we've raised 1 million. It was kind of friends and family about a couple of weeks ago, to be honest. And we're going to probably raise in Q1, Q2. Our goal right now is to do the customer discovery that we're doing and the pilots that we're running, really pick a lane and an ideal customer profile, have those points on the board, and then go out for what I would call our seed round.
Oh, okay.
So probably Q1, Q2 timing.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Samira, you want to introduce yourself? Because I know you weren't able to introduce yourself on the panel, and then also ask the question you have, or I could read it out, whatever you prefer.
Hi, everyone. Yes, my name is Samira Curtis, and I have been running an accelerator program since 5 years. I've been a venture fund and LP in another fund, and right now I'm launching my own venture capital. And yeah, so I am interested in quantum. So I asked the question. You can also read it if you want. Asher.
You go for it, right? I don't want to take credit. Julie.
Promising, that's the feeling I'm getting. I'm going to be very blunt and very honest about this. Is it this, comparing to Soda, or is it the older models? Where are we just like, I don't have a feeling like this is really going to work out, but I want to hear you about that.
Yeah, no, I definitely, I'm gonna let Ethan answer right after me, but I think that there's a graveyard of quantum machine learning companies that started 5 or 10 years ago. I think if you're starting a quantum hardware company right now, you're probably too late and there's lots of people ahead of you. I think if you started a software company on that same timeline, you probably didn't survive long enough. There's been some pretty exponential improvements in the field that have made quantum machine learning really viable just in the last like 24 months. Ethan, I don't know if you want to talk about previous models, but just speaking from a business sense, I think that our timing couldn't be better given the improvements that have been made in even just the last 6 months, to be honest. But yeah, Ethan, why don't you go ahead and speak to it a little bit?
Sure. Yeah. I think first of all, there's many different angles of which to compare models. There's trainability with sparse data regime. There's numbers of parameters. There's wall clock time of training. There's the amount of power that is required for consumption. And then there's of course performance. So I think that when we're trying to evaluate our models, we're thinking about all these different axes, all these different dimensions, and we are trying to compare to the latest and greatest, and we continue to look at the latest literature in both the machine learning side and the classical machine learning side, and we definitely want to remain on the bleeding edge. I don't know if that fully answers your question.
Yeah, it's good. And we can take offline and have another call. That's all good. Thank you.
Sure. That's great. Yeah, no problem.
Perfect. I think that's a lot of the questions, maybe all of the questions. So feel free to leave your contact information in the chat because it seems like there's a few follow-up calls to be had. With that, we're going to continue onward and forward. But before we do, I want to quickly introduce Bill Waynick. You want to quickly say hello and introduce yourself?
Yeah, hey, Asher. So, yeah, sorry, everybody. Bill Waynick, sorry to be late, but I work for Headquarters Air Force A6. I am the senior advisor for warfighter communications and looking forward to hearing all things about resilient communications, cloud, intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance stuff, and whatnot. So thanks for letting me join. Over.
It's a pleasure to have you. And then also Nilesh, you want to quickly say hello as well?
Yeah, hey guys. Sorry, just driving. Nilesh here in the Bay Area. At J Ventures, we do anything from semiconductors to defense to enterprise data infrastructure. We invest in the US and Israel. Thank you very much.
Nice. Pleasure to have you. All right. With that, we'll continue on to Blind Insight. If you want to start sharing your screen, feel free.
Great, thanks. Hi, everyone. Happy to be here. I'm Jackie Peters, founder and CEO of Blind Insight. Let me actually maximize. Can I maximize this? No, Zoom is blocking me. Well, that's good enough. Anyways, it's great to be here. Appreciate the opportunity. Really enjoyed hearing all the founders and operators today. So the problem we're solving is mobilizing data can be really costly. So, breaches and fines, we have solutions for protecting data at rest and in transit, but when you want to use the data and get any value out of it, it's exposed and oftentimes non-compliant. And so organizations are in this catch-22 between mobilizing their data and risking these breaches and fines, or keeping it siloed and sacrificing its value. And this is costing trillions every year. And so why do we need the solution right now? There are 4 converging forces. There's been just a massive volume increase in terms of data. And a lot of folks today have been talking about IoT, which introduces more attack surfaces, AI-powered cyber threats. Everybody heard about how hackers in China just used Anthropic to agentically hack into over 30 different organizations and governments. We have mounting regulatory pressure, in particular the DORA regulation in the EU, which applies to financial services organizations and is one of the first to require data in use protection, and remote workforce. So we have just data everywhere, right? We remember the time that somebody left their laptop in a coffee shop and everybody in the country's social security numbers were exposed. And so this is just like everything's failing at alarming rates here. And it's making it really difficult or impossible to deploy data for good use, for innovation and AI, for cross-border and organizational data partnerships, to improve operational efficiency, fraud prevention, KYC, healthcare, the list goes on and on. And so encryption in use has been called the holy grail of cryptography. Now, we've solved this on the software layer, so but we have shipped practical encryption in use, right? And so encryption at rest and encryption in transit have been table stakes ever since they were practically available. They're written into every privacy regulation, every corporate security policy, every RFP, right? Nobody's going to not do this. Nobody's going to, just like no one's going to not do perimeter protection. Why hasn't encryption in use been table stakes? Because it hasn't been possible until now, right? There's been a lot of attempts. We have homomorphic encryption, we have secure enclaves, but you can't run software using any of those technologies today. But like I mentioned with DORA, we're starting to see this being written into regulations today, and it's going to be table stakes in 2 to 4 years because it's now finally possible. And so there's a huge market for this, right? Initially, the market is, hey, we absolutely need a solution like Blind Insight where we can't move forward with this project. But as I mentioned, the inevitability is that encryption in use is going to be table stakes. And at that point, the market is absolutely enormous. And so this is the solution that we have come up with. We've developed a complete solution for working with sensitive data. And we've really done something that no one else has achieved. So we combine our blazing fast encryption in use with fine-grained programmable access controls. We add AI-powered monitoring and reporting, and then we wrap all that in industry standard APIs and SDKs, so it sits a lot higher in the stack than a lot of other solutions. Our team has shipped and sold security solutions used by billions around the world. I introduced myself a little bit. I'm Jackie. I'm the founder and CEO. I started my career as an engineer many years ago, and then I shifted over to product. So I like doing product for deep tech and new and emerging technologies that don't have simple UX patterns. That is the thing that I love doing the most. I learned about this problem really early in my career, working with companies like Boehringer Ingelheim, Pfizer, the Hartford Insurance, where it was difficult or impossible to get data that they needed to run the studies that they needed to run. Nick Sullivan is our co-founder and head of research. He was previously head of research at Cloudflare. He's the Lava Lamp guy, or on that team that did the Lava Lamp thing. He's also co-chair on the IRTF Crypto Forum Research Group, and he led the DRM crypto for iTunes. Jathan McCollum is our co-founder and CTO. He started his career in the USMC as a computer specialist. He was at AOL, Dropbox, and Salesforce. And then Tali is our principal applied cryptographer. She came to us from Nubank. She's actually working on her master's thesis right now, which essentially is Blind Insight. And so this is our approach. We've developed a proprietary index-based approach to searchable encryption that allows you to perform a range of SQL-like operations on fully encrypted data with minimal latency. For most queries and most data sets, we're talking sub-second latency today, and there's certainly plenty of efficiency gains to be made as we get more resources. And so we're the only platform today that can do aggregation functions, fuzzy matching, on encrypted data with sub-second latency and no hardware lock-in. No one else has done that. The way it works is we have a proxy architecture. And so I know, Solomon, you mentioned sovereignty. And so this all started initially with the idea of a self-sovereign identity model, but because we have a proxy that can live, that's a binary that can live in a mobile device, in a browser extension, or can be hosted in the cloud. So it does allow for self-sovereign use cases. And so the proxy is used at any point in the ETL or the data lifecycle to ingest the data. It encrypts it 2 ways. We very intentionally used standard algorithms that are widely available on every chip, on IoT devices, and so on and so forth. And crucially, we can swap these out. So as post-quantum comes along, we can swap these out for more quantum resistant. But as of today, we are the most quantum resistant anything can be. And so what we do is we build an index, right? So we hash each value in each field deterministically, plop it in the index, and then we have a pointer to a non-deterministically encrypted record so that we can have query keys to query and data keys to decrypt. And these permissions are at the field level. So you can either programmatically or via the UI and set and forget or map to your role-based or attribute-based access controls. At the field level, the ability to either run analytics on a field or to decrypt the field. And so this is really crucial for a lot of privacy regulations where the potential to re-identify is an issue.
30-second warning.
Okay. We're really easy to integrate and so we have a hosted solution. We also can ship a Docker container for enterprise. I'm going to skip go to market. We've got some great early traction. We've got large enterprise customers in the pipeline, some successful POCs and LOIs. We are also in Creative Destruction Lab in the compute program, member or spoke of the Investor Catalyst Hub with ARPA-H, and we have letters of support from senators and Congress people. I'm going to skip this. This is our pricing model. And we're currently getting ready to raise our seed round. We haven't opened it up yet. We're looking for a lead. And this is to scale to enterprise adoption. All right.
Awesome.
Thanks.
All right, so we can open up the floor to Q&A, right?
Yeah. Hey, Jackie,
Let's
this
do
is Bill Waynick. I got a question for you on the letters of support. From within the Department of Defense or War or whatever it is these days, what is where did you get letters, like from specifically what agencies or organizations?
Oh, so actually the DoD, so we have Erin Peterson, who actually is former DoD. She was the CTO of Kessel Run.
Okay, is Kessel Run still working with y'all?
No, we never were working with them. We just have a letter of support from Erin.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay,
so we have
thanks.
letters of support from senators, Congress people, and former members of the DoD.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Paul, you want to go?
Yeah, sure. Thanks for the presentation. Good stuff. I'm always searching for the next shiny thing in crypto, the real crypto, not that funny stuff that we throw currencies on. I think what would be very interesting to me to understand is, you had a couple pieces there in your architecture that had at least 2 keys that I saw. How are you handling key management? Is that something that can be plugged in simply to existing enterprises, into cloud? Like, those are where usually the things fall apart.
Yeah. So
who has
that's
control?
That's the final step. So right now we're halfway through our SOC 2 audit, and then we're building KMS integration into the proxy. So right now it's like a proxy per user. We have a browser extension that would use the browser wallet to store your keys, or you can do it in the CLI, or you can host the proxy, but it's like a proxy per user. So we have to do the KMS integration into the proxy.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Han, you want to go next?
Yeah, actually, you have a really great solution there.
Thank you.
Actually, I really admire, especially you have a searchable encryption, right?
Yes, searchable encryption. You can run SQL-like analysis,
Yeah.
Boolean operations, and because we shipped fuzzy but aggregate functions, we can now support machine learning algorithms like linear regressions and cluster analysis.
Right. Yeah. So that's great. And also on the top of that, you're like a developer-friendly tooling, correct? Right?
Yeah, exactly. So we like, I am a product person, right? So I know that you can have the coolest technology in the world, but if it's hard to integrate and it doesn't really solve problems, then no one's gonna adopt it. And so we've intentionally made it very easy to integrate. Right now we're shipping it as middleware. So you can integrate it into any structured data source, on-prem, edge, or hybrid.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great. And do you have any revenue yet, or?
Just a little bit. We've received about maybe $15,000 in revenue from pilots and things like that. And if we had usage-based pricing on, we would have 30,000 in ARR, but we don't have it turned on yet.
Gotcha. Okay, great. Well, great. Maybe we can chat later. Thank you. Appreciate it.
That'd be great.
Perfect. That's the time we have. Thank you so much for the presentation, Jackie.
Thanks so
and feel
much.
free to. I'll be a broken record. Feel free to leave your contact information in the chat. Next up, we have Helios presenting is Jose, I believe.
Hi, guys.
Howdy.
I'll go ahead and share my screen here. All right, is that coming through all right?
Yep.
Great. Well, guys, this is Helios. What we're doing is we're building modular data centers and then, of course, offering up cloud computing to AI companies. The problem we're solving is that traditional data centers, they can't meet AI's demand. The pace of it is too fast. For those of you that were on here, you had Vertivon, and they were highlighting some of the same stats that I'll share with you, which is just how fast the demand for energy and the demand for compute is growing. Of course, it's a lot easier to start an AI company and start scaling that than it is to build up all the compute and energy infrastructure necessary. One moves much faster than the other. And so it's led to this big supply deficit with data centers. The computational power needed for AI has been doubling every 100 days. And of course, this is a group that's very aware of what's going on in the compute space. So I won't bore you too much with just how fast it's growing and the impact that is having. Now, my background, I come from energy. I spent years in the energy industry, everything from renewables to batteries, to grid level, down to the home level. And I became very familiar with the bottlenecks that exist when it comes to building out a data center. Of course, old data centers or a data center used for typical storage or networking, that uses maybe 5 kilowatts a rack. Now we're pushing past 100, 150 kilowatts a rack. So the energy density has increased so much. And you have these, multiple Costco size buildings that will take up the energy of an entire town. And the issue in building those out and why it takes so long isn't necessarily the physical building of it. That's all right, as long as you have the cash. The issue is in getting the utility companies to work with you to give you that much electricity in one location. Oftentimes it requires additional energy infrastructure build out, which isn't controlled by the private company, but the utility companies. And that can take years. So I wanted a way to bypass all of that. And I have this bold claim here that we can deploy them 12 times faster, right? And then offer computing at a third of the cost compared to things like AWS and GCP. No offense, Saul. But what we're working on is a way to go directly to power plants that happen to have a bit of excess capacity. And it turns out in the US and all around the world, in Canada, I was just in Dubai, there are many power plants of all different kinds, geothermal, natural gas, solar, that are operating at 60, 70% capacity. And they have a little extra in case there's a spike in demand from the grid. But even accounting for that, there's excess. Not enough for a full-size hyperscale data center, but there's enough for a modular shipping container data center. And now we're stack and connect together to build to whatever size is available at that power plant. And in this way, we don't have to deal with the utility companies. We connect directly to a power plant. We get much cheaper power that helps lower the cost, and then we're up and running much faster. Part of the technology that goes on inside, part of the secret sauce here, is our immersion cooling system. Now, of course, we didn't invent immersion cooling, right? Our process is in many ways very similar to what's out there. However, what's out there, and one of the issues, is that these are typically tipped over on their side like a bathtub. And what that means is you can't fit nearly as many GPUs in a given space as you would if you could stack them. So what we built is a drawer system, and it's as simple as it looks. Obviously, it has some complexities to it, but you pull out a drawer, and each drawer holds a non-conductive liquid that is pumped through. And the system is filled up once with this liquid, and it never needs additional water or any more of this ever again. So while others are going through millions of liters of water a year, we don't use any water. We're just in the Middle East, and obviously this was very attractive to them because a lot of the installations would be in the desert. And then, like I said, right, it allows us to do it much faster. We can pump out tens of these in just a few months. The market is, of course, huge, and you guys are aware. McKinsey reported $5 trillion will be needed over the next 5 years just for data centers for AI. And then I like to put that in context. The method we're using, like I said, is using the surplus electricity, right? The extra 10% that data centers, or sorry, power plants all around the country have. If we just took the US's surplus electricity, the untapped stuff that no one is using and able to access, that also overlaps with fiber infrastructure, then we would generate $340 billion a year by turning that into cloud computing. And that's also while undercutting majority of the competitors. One of the secrets to this is we built out a map where we actually, we'll keep this on the down low, even though we have some government folks here. We hacked into a database that may or may not have been government, and we got crucial info, which was how much energy in real time are each of these power plants in the United States actually producing, every single one. That allows us to find out which ones have spare capacity. We call them up and we align contracts with them. 15, 20-year PPAs is what they're called, power purchase agreements. And we lock up a small piece of land, and most importantly, their excess energy for Helios before anyone else can get there. And that way we can lock up all this potential revenue. So we've done that with quite a few power plants already. Simple way it works. You have the energy producer, all kinds of energy producers. We take their excess energy, we station up our data centers right next to their power plant, and we turn that into cloud compute, and some of that revenue goes back to the producer, of course. Here's an example of a deal we did. Of course, the deals come in many sizes, but this gives you an idea of some of the numbers. So one of the deals we're doing, GPUs are very expensive, as you guys know. So for a full build out, it can cost $8 million, depending on the GPU we use. And then each one is generating $6 million a year in annual recurring revenue. And so we have these AI companies waitlisted. We're building our first ones as we speak. And whoever fronted the cash so that we could build our data center, then they'll get 70% of the revenue generated and then we're just operating costs to maintain the data center, which are very low. So 85, 86% plus margin. Our traction, we're a new company. We just started this a year ago. We built out prototypes. We already have a partnership with NVIDIA. And this allows us to get the chips we need at a slight discount, but most importantly, it's the accessibility. And we have over 100 million in the pipeline of customers interested in just purchasing the hardware outright, as well as renting out the cloud compute from us. We're raising $3.2 million for a seed round. We already raised a pre-seed round about 6-7 months ago. And this is for new projects, salaries, R&D, and acquiring new sites. And here's the team. There's myself. I spent years as a military drone operator. One of the benefits of these is that we can deploy these at the edge. So for a military use case, as swarms of drones start to be integrated into the battlefield, which I myself have been a part of, then this can act as the hub, right? My co-founder here, Caston, hardware engineer, 10 years working in data centers. We have a cloud engineer, AI researchers, and we've all come together to work on this project, a vertically integrated cloud system. And that's it. So there's my QR codes for LinkedIn, website, email. Feel free to reach out.
Sure. Han, do you want to ask the first question?
Yes, actually, you have something really good going on there. Great going on, Jose. So appreciate it. So I'm just trying to summarize. So you own AI compute stack, right? And also you're offering a GPU cluster.
That's correct.
That's correct. Okay.
That's right.
Can you? This is awesome, actually. Can you tell me a little bit more about it? I mean, like what capacity or in what kind of role in industry and stuff like that? I think you should talk more about that too when you make a presentation.
By the way, very refreshing to speak to a bunch of folks in the industry. Normally, I'm explaining what a data center is. So to give you an idea of the capacity of one of these, within one, we can do about 1 megawatt of capacity. And this can be filled with a number of different GPUs we work with in the Blackwell series, H100s, H200s. We don't really mess with A100s anymore. L40s are big. A lot of our customers that have already signed up for the waitlist to use our compute range from defense, so like Shield AI has reached out to us, all the way to medical tech, cancer research, and then of course the usual things like the AI startups doing a sales chatbot or GPT-esque platform.
I see. Just one more quick question. So you said you have a partnership with NVIDIA, right? Can you
That's
tell me a
correct.
little more about that?
Yeah, the partnership is something we applied for. It's and thankfully got into. It's pretty simple. They have this partnership for startups all the way up to Series B, and it gives us access to purchase as many as we would realistically need in the next couple of years, as many GPUs as we need at a slight 4 to 5% discount. So the discount isn't much, but it's the access, especially when it
Right.
gets restricted.
Yeah, I happened to actually met Jensen Huang in APEC, South Korea, and
check that
you
out.
got access to that. That's good. Everybody's lining up to get some. You already got some. Thank you.
Exactly.
But we can chat later on. Okay. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Saul, you're
Great to
up,
meet
and then Samira.
Sounds
Yes.
great. Thanks. That was great. Yeah, I think the question I had was on two parts. One is your manufacturing time. Let's
Mhm.
say 2 years from now, what do you anticipate your manufacturing turnaround and potential volumes? Because I see this as something that becomes very distributed, and it's almost
Yes,
like how many counties in the United States can I cover as fast as possible? Turns out
exactly,
there's
exactly.
13,000 of them.
And a simple way to look at it is each one represents, depending on the GPU, anywhere from 6 to 10 million in ARR, right? So the more of these we pump out, that's how we grow our ARR, large upfront cost, but we've gotten creative with that. Manufacturing right now, we can do about 40 a year, right? Starting today, assuming we have the capital, right? Now, that being said, a lot of that manufacturing is outsourced, and we do the final assembly in-house with our engineers. Over time, the plan is to bring more and more of the actual manufacturing in-house. So we expect to be able to ramp up, and that's for not just business reasons, but also geopolitical. And we expect to be able to ramp up to about 90 to 120 units per year in 1.5 years, so in 18 months.
Okay, cool, thanks. And then my follow-on to that is the actual product you're selling. Is it the GPU configuration all turnkey ready to go, or is it potentially also like it's a data center at the edge, fill it with what you like?
Yeah.
Where are you in your strategy?
Well, our main strategy, and this might change depending on the opportunities that come, right? But our main strategy is through this cloud platform that we developed, right? I mean, think if you guys know RunPod, or even just compared to AWS or GCP, right? They can go on here, select the GPU they want to work with, and however many they want, and then usually it's a 3, 6, or 12-month contract. And they can do a cluster within one container. We fit up to usually 300 to 400 GPUs. So that's kind of what they're working with. And of course, they can work across containers. Now, that being said, as time goes on and as we scale up, we'll be able to attract larger customers, right? OpenAI, not relevant to us right now. We're not relevant to them. But as we scale up, have more capacity, we can start to appeal to larger players.
Thanks.
Samira, you're up.
Yeah, I think you mentioned it a little bit. I'm actually really curious about your go-to-market strategy and who's your targeted customer. It sounds all nice, but I think water is cheaper, especially Middle East. You said you went to Middle East when the temperature is so hot. I don't think you can complete, and not have that. So that's all just theoretically nice, but I don't, it's just not practical, right? So yeah, and I want you to just, and there are a lot of course, big players that are also in that space. And security is another thing. I don't think many companies want that, right? To have that in such a container. So I think you're going to get a lot of those questions from the techies out there. So I wonder how you deal with that. And that's when it comes to your go-to-market strategy. Maybe there are certain customers that you're targeting and you have analyzed the market and you know what? This is the only customers I can go after and make money.
Sure. So I'll try to answer this simply because there's a lot of different aspects here. But
yeah, I throw
customers that seem to respond very well to us are small to mid-sized companies. And of course, that's what we're relevant to given the fleet of GPUs that we're deploying. But one of the big things with just compute is security becomes less of an issue than compared to storage, right? We don't need to be this high security level 5 data vault because we're not storing people's bank info, right? We're not the data center behind Chase. And all we are is just high performance compute. And they rent it out and use it for whatever they need. So it does require far less security. That being said, we have had clients reach out saying, I would like your data center deployed at my headquarters. And for them, that's ultimate security. It's within their, it's in the same parking lot as them. And they really like that, as well as for the latency. And something I failed to mention is long term, as we build out more of these modules geographically dispersed, which is our goal, then that means when people use our cloud, latency is always lowest because there's always going to be a data center they're connecting to that's physically closer to them than simply connecting to the nearest one in Virginia or Texas. And so as far as go-to-market goes, small to medium-sized companies, as we scale up, will be able to appeal to larger. And then there's also the customer who's interested in just purchasing the data centers outright and operating it themselves. And we've received a number of those. Now, I suspect majority of our revenue will come from the cloud platform. However, realities are always different.
Thank you, though.
Well, Jasmine, I'm really, really sorry. Unfortunately, we're running a little bit late on time, but if you don't mind connecting with Jose offline, I'm sure he'd be happy.
I'll follow up with him. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm sure he would be happy to answer whatever question you may have. And also, Jose, just so you know, there's also a few questions in the chat as well that you might want to get to eventually or take a look at when you have a minute.
Okay, well, I appreciate it, guys. I'll leave my info in the chat as well.
Yeah, awesome. All right, next up, we have Nexogen. Feel free to start sharing whenever you're ready.
Hi, I'm Scott Phillips. You'll see me joined on twice, once from my phone and once so I can share my screen. There we go. All right, so what I want to talk about is something we're doing at Nexogen. So a little bit of background on Nexogen first. We're a 20-plus-year-old cybersecurity IT managed service provider company with a bunch of clients ranging from small nonprofits all the way up to major construction firms that are building out pieces of the Atlanta airport and other businesses that you've definitely heard of. And as we've gotten into it, we have a lot more interest. A lot of our clients have asked about AI. And specifically, we also are partnering with the University of Cincinnati with their AI, with Dr. Kelly Cohen, the AI Biolab, because what we really care about is the ability to have explainable AI, not just a model that says, hey, here's the answer, but a model where you can audit and it gives reasons for the answer, and they're much stronger mathematical guarantees. They're also much faster to operate. They don't require GPU compute. They're much more targeted, especially in the realm of advanced automated decision making. And our initial prototype with this was done in the realm of phishing, because as an IT company, we care about phishing. We're constantly trying to block phishing emails from going to our clients. We're constantly fighting, phishing training, making sure our clients don't click on the suspicious looking links. And one of the things that comes up is a lot of the phishing detection models out there are traditional machine learning, and they're not explainable. You can't really tell why they flagged an email as phishing or not. And one of our team was actually developing this model over the summer, and he was able to build out, based upon just the phishing links, a model that would hit 99+% accuracy on a basis of 235-ish thousand samples of just the URLs we could identify with over 99% accuracy. And this whole system would run, the training only takes a few minutes, which means retraining and updating only takes a few minutes. And I think the final latency was minute fractions of a second, a few milliseconds per email to process. And as this is continuing to grow in terms of the threat and in terms of the scale of the impact on phishing and other related IT needs, we're trying to develop this model into other areas surrounding starting with phishing, but real in IT, but growing into like, okay, can we detect things like suspicious looking images? Can we detect suspicious looking text? Can we detect other things besides just where do the URLs in the email go? And as we're doing that, our goal is to keep this high level of accuracy and this interpretability. And the cool part is this system with based on fuzzy logic is broadly reapplicable. We started with phishing because it's obviously near and dear to our hearts, and it's partly the bread and butter of what we do. But it also is very applicable to other systems. There's other businesses doing interesting things with it. And what we're trying to do is go from this and grow this out into other areas involving the email and other cybersecurity spaces, including SIEM and EDR detection response. And one of the key things we want to make sure is that we also not only have the interpretability, but we also have the deployability that allows us to deploy this on your environment. You don't need to have some sophisticated GPU cluster. You don't need to have a bunch of advanced compute. This is a simple model. It runs on your standard laptop or server. There's no special computer requirements. And as we're growing it out with this issue of multimodal phishing detection, because a lot more of phishing is becoming, and those types of cyber attacks are becoming more embedded with images and multimedia, with other types of text. That's our next frontier as we're going out from where we are. And so really as a company, we're a bootstrapped organization. We don't need money. We're already a profitable enterprise, but we are really just looking to this community as like, where can we find other use cases and potential partnerships and opportunities to reapply this type of advanced high-speed decision-making to your problems and your needs in places where you're like, hey, I've got way too much data I need to sort through. And my people can't keep up, but I really need the ability to make those decisions, make them fast, and make them interpretable and explainable so that when the model gets it right, you know why it got it right. If it gets it wrong, you know exactly why it got it wrong, and we can help you and show you why we can train the model so that it will not happen again. And with that, I just want to share the contact info. I'm Scott Phillips. I think our CEO, John Salisbury, is also on. I will post our contact info in the chat and open it up to questions.
Sure. Thank you, Scott. Yep. Feel free to ask, and we will get there in the order in which your hands raised, or if you would like to just chime in, feel free. Is someone asking something, or is that just background noise? Otherwise, I do have some questions. Okay. Yeah. Do you want to talk about some government traction, Scott?
In what?
Like
in what regard?
Yeah, even just grants submitted. Or if you're allowed to share. Otherwise, I could ask a different question. I could change things up.
I would probably ask a slightly different question. I don't think we have a particularly good answer that we can share.
Okay, that's totally fine. Yeah, I mean, do you want to get into a little bit more detail on some use cases?
Sure. So we've sent out some proposals already with some of our existing partnerships and some other prospective clients who are everything from major telecommunications companies to banks and other financial regulated institutions who care about when the model makes a prediction, they need to have complete justification for why it's doing what it's doing, so that they can justify to regulators why it's doing what it's doing, so they're not worried about, oh, did the model hallucinate or generate some spurious output we couldn't have predicted, but rather that the model will always produce outputs in a consistent manner, but is also extremely easy to train and retrain, as opposed to a system that's really complex and compute intensive.
Got it. That makes sense. We have time for one more question. Otherwise, we can wrap it up. I give a minute or a little less. Okay. Perfect. Thank you so much, Scott, and thank you for leaving your contact information. I already see it. It's in the chat. Really appreciate the presentation. And yeah, that wraps up the showcase today. Thank you for everyone who joined and everyone who participated. We really enjoyed having you, and thank you for all the presenters. You really made it happen. And the panel, as always, thank you so much. And if you guys do want to be connected, let me know. Hopefully enjoy the holiday season, and we'll see you guys after we're taking a break until January. So in January, there's the Aerospace and Defense. Looking forward to seeing everyone there. And have a good rest of your day, morning, evening, wherever you may be in the world.
Thank you,
Thank you
Asher.
very much. Nice. Appreciate you. Thank you. Bye.
Yeah, sure. Bye.
Have a good one. Have a good one, everyone. Bye.